Hello everyone, welcome along to the Rigsy podcast. Well, I might as well call it the Rigsy podcast because we really haven't had a proper title for these podcasts when we've done previous ones, so we might as well just dub it as that. But my guest today on the podcast is none other than former referee who has refereed at NBL, SEABL, local, you name it, and of course a netball coach as well too now with his life after basketball. You know, none other than Peter Brockman. So we talked to Brocky about his playing days, his refereeing days, but we'll also dive into a little bit of his netball and what he's up to now. So sit back and relax and enjoy the podcast. Hit the record button like that, and then away we go. So, right, we're on location here, obviously, down at Mr. Peter Brockman's household. And he's joined us for a podcast, which we've finally been able to get around to doing. So, Brocky, good to have you here.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Mate, I want to start off with when did you first start with the basketball and then the refereeing side of things as well too? When did that all kind of start or kickstart for you?
Well, that all started back when I was playing under 10s. I played under 10s, and then I was every year I was 2 days too old because my birthday was on the 30th of September, and you had to be under a certain age by the 28th. Mm-hmm. And every year or every second year, I had to play up in a higher grade. So but then with the Southern Tasmania Junior Basketball, so they decided to buy me a tracksuit and a whistle. And ever since then, I've started umpiring.
Ah, okay. So the playing and the refereeing kind of went hand in hand there for a little while, did it?
Oh yes, yeah. I enjoyed playing. I played right through since then, and probably in my late 30s. So and I got resized. I played A grade basketball. Played a lot of A reserve and B grade as well. As the years gone by.
But by the sounds of it though, Brocky, it sounds like you were pretty good player back in the day.
Didn't have any height. But I could bounce the ball because we used to go every Sunday. I don't know if anyone remembers, but Nellie Ogden used to run the Moona Basketball Stadium. If you get caught wearing your gym boots in there, you're in trouble. But anyway, she used to give myself, Peter Mann, and a few of the other boys a key to go in, and we used to go there every weekend, and we used to get on there and throw some hoops and be there for a couple of hours. It used to be great fun.
And was that the norm back in those days, Brocky? As far as if we can get access to a stadium or somewhere to go shoot hoops and take a few mates with us, was that kind of the main thing growing up in those days, having that camaraderie and all those friendships? Oh
yeah, but probably with Pete and I, I used to stay at this place. I used to have a paper run, and we used to come on that with me. But we just went there, and there's probably a few others that would come with us, but not a lot. We just get to go on weekends and throw some hoops, shoot some baskets when no one else was in there.
When was I thought you might take a seat. There we go. When was I suppose when did the serious side of refereeing come for you? Obviously, you've had a pretty good playing career by what you're telling me, and A reserve and A grade's a pretty good level for.
Oh yeah.
But when did the refereeing side kind of get a bit more serious?
That was sort of obviously when you're young and you're only 10 or 11 and you gradually move through the ranks, it probably wasn't real serious then. It was just something to fill in for the time. But you get to like it probably. I mean, I went away on my first nationals when I was 15. I went to South Australia at the under-18 club championships. Mm-hmm. And I think if everyone remember Peter Blight, he was the captain of that side. Yes,
no, there'll be a few who listen to this podcast. Yes, would definitely remember. We get a good mix of ages of tuning in there, Brocky. But obviously going the nationals took you quite around a fair bit by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, look, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, the only place I didn't actually go to was Western Australia. It would have been nice to go there, even when I was playing or coaching netball with the men's team. That's the only place we didn't go to. But every other, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, that was great fun.
And back in, geez, I like saying back in those days, but back in those days, were there like a pathway, or was it just kind of, if you were noticed, then you would kind of go up the ranks, so to speak, Brocky?
Oh, look, back in those days, we had a lot of people. Well, there was our rules interpreter, which sometimes I think is Graham Brown.
Yeah.
Greg Landstall was involved. These blokes were all up north. Graham Kemp.
Yeah, Kempy, yeah.
Yes, and then just after those fellas, it was, I can't think of his name now. Webby.
Yeah, Tony Webb.
Yeah. Tony Webb, yeah, look, he's still coaching up there now.
Yes, he is.
He was a great umpire. We used to, when we did go away for, under 18, under 16, under 14 championships, Tasmanian championships there, we had someone there, our supervisor was telling us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And we were critiqued. But I've noticed these days, I don't think that happens quite a lot at all. I mean, I could be wrong, but you might know better than I do, Ronnie.
Could well do. It's a little bit different these days, I suppose, Brocky. Now with obviously the NBL having their replay centre, all the referees are kind of mic'd up, but they've also got an earpiece in their ear, and they can hear people from Melbourne. The head of the referees for the NBL, Scott Butler, does get onto the referees if they're not doing their job right throughout the game. So I think there's a little bit different critiquing here and there. I did bump into Hollywood, good old Mal Cooper.
Mal Cooper, yes.
Yeah, a few weeks back. Yeah, he was down for the Jack Jumpers game in Launceston, working. He was obviously supervising the referees for that game.
No, I know Mal well. Because we had Kerry Brain, as I said before, he used to run our association, and he was a good friend of all those fellas. Watsy in Melbourne, I reffed a final, women's conference final at Albert Park with Watsy when I was a young fella. Look at our association then was run down here. I think now it's run by the Netball Taz up north.
Yep.
But we had our own association, the STBRA, and we were probably running it better than the business, to be honest with you. Thanks to people that were involved, Kerry Brain, Charlie, Rossi's partner, Robbie Fleming, and then Ronnie Burton. I can't forget him because it's the same birthday date as mine. I think Ronnie's passed away, unfortunately. Yeah, no, look, things do change, but I think we were better off back when we were there.
Yes, the association kept going for quite some time, and obviously I come into that fold as well too, Brocky. And
I remember.
I think I was already your right hand man back in those those younger days.
Ronnie came in as a little fella. He was a good umpire too. He's umpired quite a lot now as well. I remember Ronnie well because we used to do a few games together. And look, I'd go and watch. What's our juniors rule on Saturdays? They had the boys on Sundays and the girls on Saturdays, and all our referees would be umpiring there every day.
Yeah.
Okay, because probably some of them might want to go and get their girlfriend or see their girlfriend. That's probably why. Okay. But look, now it's not like that now because obviously people work.
Yeah.
But look, we would. Some people now, I think anyway, they'll be senior referee, but they don't spend a lot of time with their juniors. We used to. And that's Ronnie learned everything from me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No.
All the good things.
Definitely takes some credit, that's for sure, Rocky.
And also my brother Ross, I got him into umpiring. Because we used to, after we played basketball and that, I got him to come and umpire, mate. So he reached the standards of NBL too. 10 years after I got mine.
Yep.
Oh no, look, we ref the women's. It wasn't Women's National League then. It was the I can't think. It was the highest women's. I can't think of what name was now.
I'm trying to think.
Women's National.
Anyway,
look, then the men's back then was SEABL, and it changed their name a couple of times before. Now it's NBL 1.
Yep.
But we've done all those. Probably the only two brothers that have done them in Australia. To be honest, I think.
Yeah, I think so. If you're thinking of all leagues, yes.
Yeah. So we've had our collection of big games and that, and also too, a fair chunk of the games I umpired with a few of the blokes up north when the American teams toured and all that sort of stuff. Here they come and play a game. of basketball at Moona. We did a couple of those in the younger days.
And how are they? I mean, surely they pulled some crowds too, Brocky. Like,
well, Moona. If everyone remembers Moona, that was packed, always packed. Even when we played there, like on Friday nights and things, before they moved the games over to Arraine, Moona was always packed. Junior boys and girls on Saturdays and Sundays was completely packed. Canteen was running. That's how good it was. Now these days you hardly fill it, and you've got a canteen that's probably only open 5 or 10 minutes a day. You know.
Well, not necessarily, Brocky, but there is a canteen. There is definitely a canteen open for it.
Yeah, there's a canteen there, but you know what I mean. It's just be open 8 o'clock, be there, and they probably wouldn't shut it till about 5 at night. You know.
But certainly back in those days, there was a lot of people in and out, and games would just be happening, and it'd be like a mini tournament, really. With the influx of people coming in and out.
Oh, it was, because you had games going every hour right through the whole day. And then, as I say, you probably start at 9 o'clock, and you'd be playing the last game at 4, and it's in 3 halls. 3 halls. Yeah, 3 courts. Yep.
Yeah,
and I remember back in the day when I started playing under 10s, there used to the bottom hall at Moona. There only used to be 2. The bottom hall at Moona we started back in those days. That's when Tony Anacanis. The late Tony Anacanis organised that. So, and he was an ex-state player.
He was, yes.
A well-known personality.
What about the days of the top shots too, Brocky? Like that was huge. I was only looking earlier this afternoon when I got home, looking through some old clips of top shots that happened.
Oh yeah, well the top shots was run by the ABC, and then all the teams from right around the state played off. I believe it was on a Friday night and probably a Saturday night. Look, we did a couple of those games. I was probably trying to find some with the umpire, but all I see is Greg Lansdell and all those other fellas from up north.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of you there, Brocky.
No, but I did a couple of those games because we had our clubs, Maypole Bruins, Dodgers, Royals. I think one stage there, University might have been in it, early stages. But they were competitive games, and I believe the games back then was far more better to watch than some of the games they're playing now.
Because back watching those old clips, Brocky, offensively more structured, better ball movement, and the aim was to get the ball as close to the hoop as possible. We some of the teams I saw what they run in their sets. Of course, these days it's all about shooting the 3-pointer and all the razzle dazzle kind of stuff. But no, very very simple and basic back in your days.
Oh yeah, it was. But all the players, most of the players were pretty highly skilled. I'm not saying the players aren't these days, but they want to be too fancy. They want to try and be American. It's all Americanised now, in my opinion. You know, as you just said a minute ago, the razzmatazz and all that stuff. So, but no, basketball back in them days was basketball. It's like football.
Yeah.
Football back in there, you had a lot of name players. You had all the big fellas come over from Melbourne and all that sort of stuff to play football. But we had a lot of homegrown fellas, the excellent players, and the state sides. State sides were pretty competitive then. But yeah, no, it's it was basketball was a lot better, I think.
I want to take you back. I've got a couple of photos here I've dug out. I'll whack them on the screen on the thing there. So there's one of you there.
That was taken. I had a layoff for a few years, and that was taken at the under-20 championships here in Hobart.
Yep, 2004 was the year, Brocky.
Yeah, and then that was one where I even read out the oath.
Yep, I think that's on the next photo.
But I can honestly
say,
yeah.
Here we go, Rocky. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, that was a great championship then. The only trouble is I hadn't ref for a few years because they were short. And and then I honestly had to go and have a massage after the week, so I couldn't walk. But it wasn't probably one of my best. I mean, as you said, I had a lay off.
Yeah.
And I come back to sort of help them out, but it wasn't one of my best championships.
No, and is it true that you didn't have to stay at the accommodation?
No, well, we're supposed to. We stayed at Martin Cash. Out, if anyone knows what Martin
Cash Hotel at the main road, Moona.
Yeah, and then I lived in Lenna Valley, so I used to go in there and I used to just duck off home and come back early in the morning. So, but yeah, I don't know if I got found out or not, but
but you still come and did the games, Brocky.
Oh yeah, because
thing.
All the games were done umpiring that during the day. Yeah, no, it was great fun, but that was probably one of my last championships I've been to.
I think so. And then you were pretty much doing SEABL all the way through after that, right up to probably, I think, 2011 when I first came onto the panel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's because then because we did SEABL, we did the women's. I'd like to know if anyone's got a record of it, well over 100 games each, honestly, because it'll be years and years and years of it. So that was great fun. So I love umpiring. I mean, a lot of people, if I don't know, they umpire a game now. If you got to be strong, you got to be clear, and don't get intimidated when you get a few razoos from the crowd.
Is that the advice you would give to someone that might be starting?
Look, the advice I give to anyone else, is just be strong in what you do. If you blow your whistle, blow the hell out of it. Be strong with it, and communicate. Communication is the main thing, in my opinion.
Yep.
A lot of people don't communicate. They let it build up inside, especially if a coach has a go at them, and all of a sudden they'll just let it rip. But if talk to them. Even if you were going past or a bit half time or whatever, because you're not involved in the game every 5 seconds. Yeah. But there are times where you can say, go past it. Look, coach. Look, I'll have a look at it. Or coach, sorry, I missed it. Look, I know you can't swear on these things, but I did in that where that picture was there. It was the under 20 nationals, and I did make a blue at half time, and Ronnie might bip this out. I can, I can. And look, and the coach of the Western Australian side he got up me a little bit, and after half time I went in there and I sort of assessed the situation and all that sort of stuff, and I come back and I realised that I did make a mistake. Yeah. And I come back out and excuse my friend. I said to the coach, Jesus, I'm sorry, mate, I fucked up. Yeah. And look, he appreciated that more. I'm not swearing, but he appreciated that more than me coming out and trying to say, look, I don't think it was here, or trying to make up excuses. And then, you don't have to swear in it, but just communicate to the coaches and even the players. They'll all appreciate it.
Is that still an important skill of the officiating game, Brocky, as far as, communicate to the players, communicate to the coaches and try and work together, so to speak?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And now, look, I was in there with a two-man officiating. I did a couple of NBL practice games with three men, but I wasn't sort of up with it. I got through it, but a lot of the older referees then, the ones that are not around now, were still doing it because it was three men. Yeah. But look, when you got the two men, you got to keep eye contact with each other, and you got obviously when you're umpiring, it's the same with three. You've got certain areas where you have a look at and call. But things are. I mean, back in them, I watch the TV now, and then players take 10 steps and they don't call travel, and yet they'll play. And then I know it's probably advantage, disadvantage, but I can't work them out half the time, to be honest.
So it's a little bit more of a different, how can I call it? It's more of a product thing these days, I think, Brocky, as they say.
It is.
Because it's such a brand now, where back in the day it's more about the basketball and more about the fundamentals and whatnot. I can remember the pre-games we did, we always said eye contact. Yeah. And those kind of skills as far as communication and that to the player. I got more respect out of players communicating to me than anything else. I feel like it's a lost trait these days, because sometimes I see some officials not talk or too afraid to talk because they're not sure what's going to be said back. But you've got to have that. You've got to have that thick skin, as you say.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, it's communication in any sport. It's vital, and if you haven't got it, if you don't want to communicate, it's going to build up, and then the people are just going to keep repeating bad things about you or whatever. Just always get that from the spectators. Yeah. But communicate. But I'm not saying communicate with the spectators. It's got nothing to do with it. It's the coaches and the players. You're going to cop from spectators all the time. I know all my mates at Moona, when we used to play out at Creek Road or even Moona, they'd be standing up the bleachers there, giving me a hell of a time.
Actually, I remember some of the games you refereed at Creek Road. I remember good old Ray Stearns, God bless him. I think every time you blew a foul, and he used to yell out from the top there, he goes, "Do you lay carpet?" Because obviously you're a carpet layer by trade, Brock.
Yeah, the boys did that. Because we used to wear different colour referee shirts, and you say, the old orange maggot, or the black and white maggot, or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, but when I was coming on, there was so many changes of the SEABL referee top because of the sponsors.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
there used to be the orange, the straight orange top, and then I think we went to that orange and black.
Yeah.
And then we went to black and an orange on the side, and then we went to grey stripes, and then we went to black and white, and now obviously NBL 1 now just goes to the black and white. But yeah, we got a few referee tops from out of all those years, Brocky.
Oh, you're not wrong. When I started umpiring NBL, we were sponsored by Flag Inns, and then the NBL sent us 3 tops. Well, actually, they sent us 6: 2 black, 2 red, and 2 white. And we had all those tops, and I can remember, and they were in the plastic, and they said with compliments of the NBL and all sort of stuff, and a little bit of paper wrote in there, and I had 3 of them still in the plastic that would have been ideal for souvenirs or not souvenirs, but collector's items, but I lost them in a move.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Right, Brocky. What we might do. I'll pretend we're live here. What we might do, I'm going to throw to a bit of footage that we did a little bit earlier in your office there with all your trophies and whatnot.
Memorabilia.
Yeah, and what we might do, we might come back to this a little bit later. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
No worries, mate.
There we go.
That's wasn't it?
Yeah. Also, what those trophies were Cascade. Cascade.
Cascade All-Star awards for the All-Star team. And I was a referee for the All-Star 4 times. Dates going back to 1990 and to 1988. Yeah, so it was 88, 89, 85, 88, 89 and 90.
Yeah.
Okay. There's Australian Badge Award there for umpire basketball.
Yeah. We'll zoom in there. Yep,
yeah,
lovely, Brocky.
1986. And as you can see up there, other sports.
Yes, that's right.
These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awards there were 21 Div 1 premierships of my 21 Premier League team.
Yeah.
And these ones on this side are the TNL State League with those 2 there. 3 with the other coach, Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
And then the 2 with Lou Carter.
Ah, okay.
And then that's, as you can see, this one up here, this is our we won 2 in a row, and the 3-peat was the year after.
Ah, yes.
So we got a t-shirt made, one of the girls got a t-shirt made, and as you can see, the faces on there. Yes, and then as a player back into playing basketball, there's a couple of best and fairest, most valuable player awards for 1980. It's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago,
Yeah,
Brocky.
so I'll just say a lot of most valuable player awards. There's service awards from different clubs, Baypole Bruins, Dodgers, that play basketball. Also too is back in first ever trophy won back in 1968 when I played soccer.
You played soccer, Brocky?
Yeah, so it's the Forrest Gump of the sports I was.
That's the way. Run, Brocky, run.
Yeah. And then there's other awards there, obviously from the Dominoes Basketball Club.
Yeah.
Under 18 premiers in '73. So in that under 18 team, we had quite a lot of players. Peter Mann, Mal Hall, Peter Rook, all the great players of the Southern Tasmanian basketball. Also now is in the netball. This is a life membership of the STBOA.
Yes.
Which is the Southern Tasmanian Basketball Association.
Yes.
Which is used to be the STBRA.
Yeah. And then
Southern Tasmanian Referees Association.
Yeah.
And then we had a well-known association then.
Correct.
We used to do all the Devonport tournaments and all that. We used to roster referees. We had, back in those days, my brother Ross, his partner Charlie at the moment, she used to run the show. Even Ronnie had a go back then.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was a little fella. He was
Yeah.
only a little fella.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the podcast too. That was one of my questions when we used to do the old STBLA days.
Yeah, we had a chap called Kerry Brain. He ran the show.
Yeah.
He used to work. I think he worked for Thomas Cook Travel then. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But no, he ran it. There's Paul Moon, Ron Burton.
Yep.
Old names no one to remember. Robbie Fleming. But we used to run our association. We used to run just about everything down in Hobart here. And one stage there, we were looking to buy a house across from the Moona basketball stadium.
Yes.
With the prospect of buying it, but that didn't eventuate, obviously.
Ah.
But that's how well we were travelling.
Yeah.
So, and what other things we got here? Oh, apart from just coaching various sports, just different things. Yeah. So.
Yep.
That's my trophy collection here, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Oh, the credited coach. I'm an advanced credited coach in netball, which you strive for.
Yep, you do. Yeah.
And the next one above that, obviously, is the elite, which
The elite.
maybe I might do it. I don't know.
Right, we're back, Brocky. Obviously, catering was really nice of you.
No problem, mate.
You want to bring that microphone up. Yeah. That's it. That's better. Yeah. No. We're doing a two-party here, Brocky. Talk a bit about your basketball stuff, which we already have, and have a bit of tucker, which was lovely. And now we'll keep on going here, and let's talk a little bit about life after obviously referee, and of course we've got the NBL in the background as well too. Adelaide taking on Sydney in the last round of the regular season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's when I had the bit of a break there. It was probably because I was coaching netball, and when they moved the games, the basketball went down to Kingston, and then we played netball at Moona Creek Road.
Yep.
So that was one of the reasons why that I wasn't umpiring basketball.
What got you into netball, though?
I played men's. Played
okay.
mix first. Played mix. Tassie men's team. They had a strong team there for quite a few years, and all those blokes now look. The CEO of netball last year, in previous years, was Aaron Pigeon. He played.
Yep.
John Fletcher. He used to play football. He's a high performance coach. Andrew Jackson was involved in football. He was. I coached with him at Arrows we won with three state finals in a row, 10-0.
Yep.
So and there's a few of the other boys. They're all coaching. They're all coaching at the top level. But that's why. And then I just kept on coaching. Done the coaching courses, and then that's it.
And what kind of, I suppose, you've been coaching for quite some time, and obviously have put together a pretty good resume there, Brocky. You know, what's been the motivation to keep you going coaching? In what is, netball and basketball have some similarities to a degree, but we don't see. We see a little bit of crossover here and there with basketball and netball, but we don't see that a lot with, say, males and that type of thing, because I find it rare to see males coaching netball, but obviously there must be some benefits there. Yeah,
well, it's picked up, ever since, excuse me, I was involved, it's picked up quite a lot with the males coaching. As I said a minute ago, there's the CEO of netball is Aaron, and then there's Fletch, and then there's Simon Ruddick, even Shane Fish played football for Glenorchy. They all involved in netball. I mean, it's just a sport. I mean, I love sport. I suppose they love sport too. That's why I kept on going.
Oh no, that's fair enough, Rocky. And if you build a passion for it, and you have a good cohesion with the players, then I guess there's nothing wrong with how far you've gone, and obviously you're at a high level of coaching as well too. So is there any aspirations to go any further with that coaching?
Look, that depends. Getting too old for that. It depends. The next test, obviously, as I said, is the elite, but I'll stick to the advanced the advanced coaching level for the time being. We'll just see how we go. Netball's as a sport that it's actually all the training, some of the training things you can apply to basketball.
Yep.
And then in different aspects, all you do is just sit down. You can just work them out, and then you can apply them. Because part of the one of the coaching courses we had to do, the advanced one, was go and watch another sport train, and I went and watched the Tassie Tigers in the hockey.
Yep.
And look, I've never seen a team that goes 150 miles an hour all the time. And look, and they're basically drills that you can probably adapt in a different way to netball, but believe it or not. And it was an eye opener to watch them train and just see what they do and how they operate and all that sort of stuff. But as I say, most sports, if you can adapt and adopt things to make it almost look the same.
Yep.
No, it's but as far as netball, I love teaching kids to play. It's just being involved in the sport. That's what keeps me going.
It's fantastic. And how do you apply yourself in games? Obviously, we watch the basketball here and we see the coaches are standing up and very, very animated and passionate and whatnot. When I watch netball, we see all the coaches sit down and just kind of watch and observe and not say a whole lot, to speak.
Well, that's the difference in the sport. You're not allowed to give your verbal criticism or comments at all. And I've been foul of that one when I first started. But that goes back to when we were talking about earlier on about communication. Netball, they don't have a lot of communication.
Yeah.
Because you can't say anything. And look, if they brought that in, where there can be communication between the umpires. And then the coaches. I mean, there is between quarters and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I mean, you don't want someone getting up there and abusing hell out of it or whatever.
True.
But if they sort of ask a question, even running past, because in netball, you've got two umpires and they've got plenty of time. I think they've got plenty of time if I want to say something to the coach, politely, and the coach will be polite. But it's no communication. That's what I think causes most of the problems in games when they're tight. And a few calls might look as though they've gone the other way. No communication whatsoever, and that's everyone gets uptight about it. But as I say, I'm not an umpire, but that's in my opinion.
Fair enough, Brocky. And they're solid comments. I can't really kind of elaborate on further on that because I'm not involved with the sport of netball or anything like that. I can only watch it from a average punter's perspective and just go, well, they're moving the ball in thirds and certain players can only play in thirds. Yeah. And then the centre can run around everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's where they've got their areas on the court. As I say, like the shooters, the goal attack can go 3/4. The shooters only got half a court, and then obviously the defenders, the keeper's got half a court, and then the centre can go around everywhere. That's just different in basketball, of course. You can go anywhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it's the same thing. You've got same lead. You got to lead to the ball. You got to hold the ball. You shoot. I know there's contact. I reckon there's contact. People thinking sometimes it's ticky touch, but when you get to the Australia games and the ANZ games, there's a fair bit of contact there. I don't know if anyone remembers the keeper from New Zealand. I can't think of her name now, but she was a mighty big girl, and I tell you what, she was pretty rough. Anyway.
You won a few premierships in your time too, Brocky. What did they mean to you? And obviously those teams that you had, there must have been pretty special teams to be involved with.
Well, yeah. We first started off with back in under 17s. We had under 15s team, and we won the final with Friends Netball Club, and then from there, look, it progressed. I started coaching the 21 Div 1 division. It was going for 9 years, and I think we were in the final every time for 9 years, and we won 6 of them. Look, the trouble, you get these, you start the girls off and you get them at an early age. Some of them you stick them together, and every now and again you might bring someone else in, or someone might leave, and makes it better. I mean, yeah, we had a good run. And then on top of that, with the TNL State League, I was assistant to Lou Carter first, and we won 2 in a row. Yep. Which is a good learning curve because they're the top level coaches in the state. And then Andrew Jacko come on board with Arrows. And also, again, a learning curve for me. We had three in a row. We won that. And then he's gone to another club now at the moment. And then our mates too, Fletch. Look, you only got to ring him up and talk to him, and he'll come along and take a training for you, or even give you some ideas, because he's been a high performance coach. Aaron, same thing as Aaron.
Yep.
And just ask some questions. And these are all the men that, as you were saying before, that all the men that you didn't think there were a lot of men in the coaching ranks, but there is quite a few.
Yeah, no, it amazes me. That is for sure, and no, it's good to see. You know, it's like we want more females coaching men's basketball. You know, it's like we probably sometimes maybe want more males coaching netball. I don't know. I don't know what the mixed ratio would be to all that, Brocky. But no, that's quite unique but amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the ratio is, but as over the last few years, it's just been more men getting involved. You know, I mean, nothing wrong with the women. The women are up there at the senior level. They're quite intelligent, capable. But it's just over the last couple of years, as I said, the men have come in and I don't know, continuing on, and they've reached those high levels, and they're still there.
And what about for you this year, Brocky? Obviously, coaching once again, and I've heard bits and pieces when when I were at the gym or something. And what teams you got lined up this year to coach, Brocky?
My teams, it's they've got our Premier League team, which is the top level down in Hobart.
Yep.
We're coaching that one now. Look, for our club AYC, we always struggle for coaches, so therefore that being a coaching director of AYC, I coach the 4th grade and 3rd grade teams. And look, that's good because all schools are all done all the same. Except when you reach different levels, there's different tempos. Yep. And we go the same with basketball and that. But you know, Correct. If you get the players to really have a high tempo on whatever they do, whether they're under 12, under 11s, under 14s, or whatever it is, they'll all learn, and then they get to that top level there, and they'll be all prepared, and they'll be doing everything at top tempo.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Brocky, and obviously, how much have you got left in the tank as far as your coaching and whatnot? Do you reckon? What do you reckon, mate? You're doing pretty well for your age.
Yeah, well.
Not that we will reveal it, but anyway.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have to carry me out. No, look, I just like coaching and being involved in the sport. And then at the moment with my young fella, Tom, We've got seasons tickets out to the Jack Jumpers and all that sort of stuff. It's nice to see some more basketball again. You know, I watch those games, and then you can still pick. Being the amount of years I've played basketball, you still say, well, why didn't he shoot it? You know, why is he passing it back out again? Or geez, I wish the umpire had a crap ball that one. You know, things like that. But look, I enjoy all sports, and also too helping the club out, AYC club. We're not no clubs that every sport there's always trouble finding coaches. Yeah. But we need coaches for the juniors can improve, and then and unfortunately this year that we've found they've put a new team in state league, and we've lost a few players and a few injuries and a few people gone away, and we're going to rebuild again. So our state league levels is probably not going to be as high this year.
Yep.
But hopefully we'll get the team does come through, and we'll be able to participate. And the main thing is we'll try and improve. Whether we go out there and we get flogged, or we go out there and every week we improve. So that's what we're after this next year or so.
So a little bit more about development and trying to just recruit numbers to
well, it will be afterwards. Just this year is just to get a team on the court, to be honest, and then build up after that. With like some coaching courses, some advanced coaching courses. Us coaches at the club will get the girls together, and we'll say, well, you half a dozen girls improve your skills and all this sort of stuff, and we'll have separate training sessions, on top of your normal training sessions. Look, we may bring the Fletch in again and take some coaching courses, which he did in previous years for me. He's a man you'll always learn from him, and he's a great bloke. Look, you can talk to him, and if you're lazy, he'll tell you. If you're leaning up against the pole of training, he'll tell you, which is fair enough, because you've all got to be alert and listen.
Absolutely, it's all about posture and that too. I think I got told off at one training session for crossing my arms because they think you're not interested or something.
Yeah, well, that's it. The body language.
Yeah,
and that's even on the court. I mean, believe it or not, once you start coaching for a while, you can pick someone that's got poor body language. And honestly, it's just their movements and as I say, crossing your arms and things like that. Or even sometimes they might be a little bit puffed out, so they're on their haunches, on their hands on their knees and sitting down taking a breath. Things like that. You don't let the opposition get a slight look at and see you're a bit buggered. Just stand up and have a rest.
This is why I coach basketball, Brocky. I can pace the sidelines up and down.
Yeah, well, see, that's the difference. You've got your areas there that the coach can stand up, but it's not like basketball where you can go up and down, and down. I mean, if you did that, your coach probably wouldn't last that long.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, because a couple of comments, if you make a couple of comments or whatever, or you get in the way, they'll tell you to sit down. Or or the next minute, if you don't do that, you kicked out of the stadium. Not like 2 tech fouls or something to coach
that's
basketball.
Right. Yeah.
That's where I always say, as I said before, communication would be a better thing if half of them could communicate in a proper manner.
Yep.
It would be a lot better.
No, absolutely. No, well said there, Brocky. And finally, just to finish off, mate. Obviously, we get down to the gym a fair bit. Whatnot. Now they haven't paid me, nor have they asked me to throw this in. I just thought I'd throw this in as a bit of a funny. You can tell them tomorrow when you see them. We have some good mates at the gym, but we have a good time while we're doing the classes and whatnot down there at All Aerobics. Yeah. Shout out to Guy and Terry who run the joint down there, and it's a good setup down there at All Aerobics.
Yeah, well now they've moved into the one in Melville Street there. It's a complex, it's open, it's bright. Look, I've been a member there since Noah's Ark. And thanks to Guy and Terry. And if you learn, I mean, it's friendly, it's fun. And we used to have a sign at the old place, fitness for fun, and that's what all aerobics is.
Yeah, it is.
If you don't want to go in there and smile or whatever, you might as not go at all.
That's right.
But they're all friendly, and that's. I mean, I haven't been to any other venues or anything like that, but some people have, and they say, "Oh, this place is pretty friendly," and the people in there are good because we go there, and you do the classes. We go there on Sundays.
Yep, we do.
Not many people get out there Sunday morning and go to the gym, and then we go and have a coffee, and a bit of a gas bag, all that sort of stuff. About half a dozen of us.
Yes.
And we've got a crew that's we go out every now and again.
Yeah.
Have a counter meal. It's just a camaraderie and all that sort of stuff. But the main thing is you got to look, even in all sports, you got to enjoy it.
Absolutely, Rocky.
And because they had the sign, all aerobics fitness for fun, and you're playing sport for fun too. So. Anyway, that's good.
Yeah, no, it is, and Guy and Terry do a terrific job there, and all the other other stragglers that we catch up with as well too. They're always good fun, Brocky as well. And
Guy was a great basketball player.
He was, and funny enough too, Brocky. I actually coached against Guy back when his son was playing under 12s. And we faced each other off in the grand final, and thankfully that day I got the better. Guy was
Guy was a great basketball player right through his time, and I can remember Guy, of course, because around the same era. And when he played, he was a good player. And Terry was a footballer, of course.
Yes.
And a triathlete. And there was no doubt that this Ironman thing, I might even be not in it, but. We'll never know.
Might be. I reckon he'll be involved in it.
Could be the veterans.
It could well be. Yeah.
No. They're all sports minded, and they know what's going on. It's a great club to be involved with. Just a shout out again for all aerobics, fitness for fun.
Absolutely. Hopefully we get some free sponsorship off them or something like that. Brocky, great to come down to your humble home here and have a chat to you. It's usually I do all these podcasts either from home or the Swisher facility in town, but great to bring it down to your household here, have a bit of a feed and watch a bit of basketball on the way too, and talk and go down memory lane a little bit as well too, and relive some of the good old days as well too, mate.
Oh yeah, that was good. I'll come up with a bit of a funny thing here that a lot of the young people don't know who was involved for years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And they were the boys at the gym. They would come up with the Southern Goat.
I had a funny feeling this would come in. Shout out to David and Heath.
Anyway, I'll say no more.
There's something. Okay. Well, I must say, Brocky, you are well respected in the basketball community. Every time you did walk into the stadium, you were respected and pretty much spoken to very nicely. No one had a crack at you or whatever. Even in the games you refereed in those late 2000s, older players were very respectable to you. And I think there's a few of those older players that are still going around these days. I think are missing your presence, but of course life moves on. Of course, Brocky, and but no, you certainly are one of the when we look back in history, certainly one of the good officials going around. That is for sure.
Thanks for those kind words, right? That all goes back to what I said before: communication, and that's it. If you've got good communication and you don't sort of abuse anyone as an umpire, and to speak to them properly, you're laughing.
Absolutely. We'll finish on that note.
No worries. Thanks, Ronnie.
That's it.